Well, hey folks, George Adventure here. I am switching uh, my Monday inspirational talk to the outside, uh, and I thought, which this is Sunday, but I'm gonna post it in the morning. Most of the time it'll be on the Monday, but I'm gonna do some the night before or the day before, depends on the weather. But it's a nice day out here, and I just want to move them outside instead of being in there in the kitchen or in the eating area. Uh, Once it gets cold, then I'll move back in the house. But I just thought it would be nice to get out in God's creation. Uh, I'm on the back porch. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apologize for my rooster. He might get out and start crowing. I'll see him out there. But it's just such a beautiful day, y'all. So I'm gonna I want to have them out here this summer and this spring, and probably in the fall, if that's all right with everybody. It's just a nicer atmosphere, and I'll change up front porch, back porch, maybe sitting out there, So anyway, so today is about 70 times 7, 70 times 7. Okay, and this is some notes. I do devotionals. I do a devotional every morning. I've got a little plan I follow. I Once I get one done, I move to another one. And I just, I get up in the morning, do my devotionals first thing. I have my coffee, make my coffee, feed the cats, and Miss Linda leaves, and then I sit down and do the devotional. It's just a great time in the morning, early in the morning, to do a devotional. So, what withholding forgiveness reveals about our hearts? What withholding forgiveness reveals about our hearts? And some scripture. And I'm going to read Matthew 18:21-22. Uh, then Peter came to him and asked, Lord, how often should I forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times? And this is what Jesus said. No, not 7 times, Jesus replied, but 70 times 7. 70 times 7. And this is what this devotional is about. And I always take notes when I do devotionals or go to church, because I like to look back. It's just like having a little guide to the Bible. So, and this is 70 times 7. My cross got messed up. That's okay. So, anyways, that's my whiteboard. So, sadly, lacking in forgiveness. Even Christians today are lacking in knowing how to forgive and reconcile with each other. Now, this is from the guy that wrote this devotional. Now, we we've talked to our pastor and different people of the church about reconciling with somebody that's still toxic, and the answer is basically no. You don't have to, but you do have to forgive them. You do need to forgive them. You forgive them, and if they're still the same way, you just have to kind of you know move on, and not get back into a relationship with them. Just kind of every now and then or something, because if they're still toxic, they're just going to be toxic. And yeah, you forgive them every time, but so instead of following God's direction and repeatedly forgiving someone, some are setting up their own rules by dropping people from their lives, unwilling to forgive the 70 times 7 that Jesus instructs us to follow. That's what he instructs us to do, 70 times 7. God is the author of forgiveness, not us. We are all born toxic, and that's right. We're all born toxic. God's way is to forgive toxic people. John 3:16, Romans 5:12-19. Not understanding how forgiveness is extremely toxic in life of a believer. Not considering that unforgiveness is a sin as well as an indicator and evidence of unbelief. God doesn't approve of our being unforgiven. No, he commands it. He expects it because he forgives us. His forgiveness is unlimited. It's unlimited. He forgives us. There's no number of times he forgives us. He forgives us. It's unlimited. He's that merciful. He's that forgiving. It's God will never justify us withholding forgiveness from each other. Pride is behind unforgiveness, convincing us we have a higher standard of forgiveness than God does, rejecting his instruction to forgive, believing we know better, and we don't know better than God. The sky's the limit with God's forgiveness. Remember that. Write that down. The sky is the limit with God's forgiveness. It's bountiful. It's always there. It's unlimited. With God, we are given an I don't know what I wrote down. Anyways, we're given an ultimate, unlimited source of forgiveness for ourselves and for each other, surrendering our right to hold an unforgiven heart towards others. Surrendering our right to hold an unforgiven heart toward others. We shouldn't do that. We should forgive them. Genuine forgiveness. God continues to forgive us through the end of our lives on earth. Think about that. God continues to forgive us through the end of our lives on earth. Consider how many times God forgives you in a day, a week, a year, or in a lifetime. And that's the last thing I wrote down, 70 times 7. It's unlimited. It's unlimited. It's just bountiful. And I was going to read you a couple scriptures here right quick. That's all right. Let me find Romans here. Where's Romans? Let me find it. Okay, so Romans 5, 12 through 19. Romans 12, 5 through 19. Romans 5, 12 through 19. So let us find it here. Flip this page. When Adam sinned, sin entered the world. Adam's sin brought death, so death spread to everyone, for everyone sinned. Yes, people sinned even before the law was given. But it was not counted as sin because there was not yet a law to break. Still, everyone died from the time of Adam to the time of Moses, even those who did not disobey an explicit command of God as Adam did. Now, Adam is a symbol, a representation of Christ who was yet to come. But there is a great difference beyond Adam's sin and God's gracious gift. For the sin of this one man, Adam brought death to many. But even greater is God's wonderful grace and his gift of forgiveness to many through his other man, Jesus Christ. And the result of God's gracious gift is very different from the result of that one man's sin. For Adam's sin led to condemnation, but God's free gift leads to our being made right with God, even though we are guilty for many sins. For the sin of this one man, Adam, caused death to rule over many. But even greater is God's wonderful grace and his gift of righteousness for all who have received it and will live in triumph over sin and death through his one man, Jesus Christ. Yes, Adam's one sin brings condemnation for everyone, but Christ's one act of righteousness brings a right relationship with God and a new life for everyone. Because one person disobeyed God, many became sinners. But because one other person obeyed God, many will be made righteous. And that's Romans 12 through 19. So the bottom line, 70 times 7. 70 times 7, our forgiveness should be bountiful. It shouldn't have any conditions on it or anything. It should be uh, plentiful. And it doesn't matter if it's your wife. It doesn't matter if your wife commits adultery on you and you get divorced, you still got to forgive her. You still got to forgive her. Now, you don't have to stay married to her. You should try to work it out though, but you got to forgive her. You gotta forgive a friend that does you wrong, a relative, a coworker. So remember that. You got to have a forgiving heart. We all got to have a forgiving heart with people. And and I do understand some people are so hard to be forgiven to. And that's a fact. That is a fact. So we have to remember what God says and what Jesus did and what he died for. 70 times 7. 70 times 7. God bless. Hope y'all enjoy that. I'm going to do a quick pocket dump right quick. Since it's Sunday, I got this 75 in Yellow Delrin. Let me see here. I got this pocket organizer. I got my flashlight. I've got my bullet knife, Remington bullet knife. I love these things. Let me turn it around. It's got a Remington bead on it. I've got Miss Linda's Bigfoot Hank. I got me a Parker fountain pen. Got my keys, of course. Let's see if I can find all this stuff. It's in here somewhere, y'all. And I got this. I left my soddy upstairs, believe it or not. Got this little wren on me. It's USA made. Got it from Bear & Sons at the open house. Pretty reasonable too. Pocket cross. Zippo. Small Zippo. I don't know if you can see the flame. Well, I got to put some fluid in it. A little thin Zippo and chapstick. Got my Timex right there. I love a Timex watch, y'all. And of course, got my jewelry. Got my cross hanging around my neck. So, y'all remember that. Forgiveness. 70 times 7. Y'all have a great day. I'll be posting this in the morning, or I may even post it tonight. Probably post it tonight, so it'll be ready in the morning. Just easier that way. So y'all, I hope y'all enjoy this. Remember what I said, 70 times 7. God bless you, and y'all have a great Sunday.